It's a real privilege to be here. I wanted to start with saying that because it's a Tuesday. I can't normally come on Tuesdays. Can't is a big word, but obligations make it that I don't come on Tuesdays. And Saturday, Isabel, I became aware that Dr. Bali couldn't give the class of Saturday, but Sheila was giving it, and Sheila is someone I respect a lot, and sure enough, it was amazing. Her session was amazing. And so Isabel mentioned that Dr. Bali couldn't be there on Tuesday, and so I realized that would make quite a lull, and I thought that there's something I could contribute, and so it just kind of happened. I said it before I could think of what that meant. But I'm glad to be here because I've put together some classes, 4 classes of 2 hours, which I teach to mostly beginners. It's called La Série Débutante, but it's basically la base de yoga is what we're changing it to, because it's not for beginners. It's just that it's the foundation of a confident and secure yoga practice. So that's what I'd like to share with you today. And I'll get into the details in a minute. Just thought that it'd be nice for us to do circle and just understand where we are in our yoga teaching and maybe what our yoga teaching plans are, because it's going to affect the way that I'm going to share this. Now, I'll be giving my class, the Dr. Bali class, as well, so it's kind of a big day. Big shoes to fill also. And it's such a privilege and such an honor, actually, as well, to take this place, so thank you. Yeah. And it's a gift that I received, all of this stuff that I've been learning, and so to be able to then pass that on, of course, it creates that space, and more to come. So in that spirit as well, I'm happy to share. In as brief as I can make it, just to give you an idea of my background, basically been doing yoga since about 2002 or 2003, I believe it was 2003, and I had a little bit of pain on my shoulders, a little bit of pain in my heart, and pain in my head too. So I was hurting all over the place, really. Some of it physical, some of it.
Were you a pain in the butt?
I was. I was. Well spotted. Well spotted. That's what resulted in the pain in the heart. So I deserved it. But saying that, the yoga helped me kind of deal with the injury, the shoulder injury, which was keeping me up at night a little bit, and a bit of sleep deprivation.
And was that Dr. Bali's yoga or
No,
some other?
2003. At the time, it was
He's been teaching
Sivananda.
for so long.
It was a Sivananda practice.
Okay.
I started with the Sivananda practice, and Sivananda practice, and then I did the teacher training about 7 or 8 years later, in 2000. End of 2008, so more or less, and then I discovered Iyengar for 3 years solid, and then since then I've continued it. And the Iyengar practice is more concerned with alignment, much more, and it's more therapeutic than the Sivananda. Sivananda is more, the closer to Dr. Bali in the sense that it's more about your connection to your breath and really making space to cross into the right brain and be with the moment, Then there was, of course, Acro Yoga, which is a partner-based practice, acrobatic yoga, so acrobatics with a yogic approach. And that was a lot of fun, and built community. And then I started to practice Ashtanga yoga here at Ashtanga Yoga Montreal because the Acro Yoga was being taught there. The teacher training was there. So since I was doing teacher training formation with Acro Yoga, I did it over there in Ashtanga. And that was too hard for the shoulders, even though I did it for 3 years. It was too hard for most of my, too hard. But it transformed me because it was something that I was battling with every day. And I was there about 4 or 5 days a week. So I was battling against myself all the time. Ashtanga was not a practice that was right for me, especially with injuries.
And why did you battle? Just for your own
It was just because I
gratification?
ego. No, my
Okay.
ego was totally like getting a whooping because I was a beginner again. After about 10 years or more of practice, I found myself struggling with so many postures because my knees also are dodgy. So there's so many things I couldn't do that I just felt like, wow, I can't even teach. I stopped teaching.
Oh, no.
Well, it was a good thing because I needed to find my confidence, find my practice, and my personal practice emerged from that. And so now I teach something which is really a hybrid of all of those. And that's where I think we can maybe take it forward. So,
I have a quick question. When you said Iyengar, you said that it has a therapeutic approach. Is
Yeah.
it a physically or emotional therapeutic?
it's very technical. I mean,
Okay.
it's very anatomical, the
Oh.
approach. And of course, like any practice, when you have your Shavasana, which you do with Iyengar, you bliss out, hopefully. And so, you do get your mind-body connection, if nothing else, in Shavasana, I hope. Because when you're doing when you're concerned with alignment, this is what I started with when we were discussing earlier. When you're concerned with too much with alignment, your mind starts thinking too much, and you're not having a mind-body connection, really, that you should be, having that experience. So it's navigating that fine line between, just being in the moment and, of course, getting the alignment right so that your flow, prana, can circulate properly. So,
Sorry.
Yeah.
This is an
Oh,
interesting
please.
topic for
Yeah.
me personally. I'll just be really quick. Do you think that if someone does like a lot of yoga like every day, but they're not doing the positions perfectly, but can you
Yeah.
still get the emotional benefits from?
100%.
So why is there so much focus on alignment? Is it just for physical like toning and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and injury prevention?
It's a great question. It's really a Western thing because yoga has existed probably about as long as Ayurveda. And so I think Ayurveda is tracking it better, and we understand it's 5,000 years old. So if we want to just go with that, or even half of that, you watch Indians do yoga and the Indian practice, it's not about the alignment. Apart from Iyengar, who really brought the alignment into yoga from the East, but he did that in the 50s. That's not very long, that's only 50, 60 years. We've been talking about alignment, and only since then the West has picked it up, and we're concerned with the physical aspect. We're concerned with the physical aspect in the West, and the energy body isn't even, hasn't been appreciated until maybe.
There's a number of yoga practices, they don't even do asanas besides sitting cross-legged. A lot of the Buddhism yoga,
Sure.
I met a Buddhist yogi I traveled with a little bit, and he doesn't do postures, but he
Yeah.
sat for 9 months in a cave and meditated.
Oh my gosh.
So that's his yoga.
And he's prana rich.
Oh, yeah,
And
amazing.
and that's the only thing that matters. And so that's, if there's one thing which I hope I can get across today, and I hope you can feel it in the practice, because when I do the practice at the end, I'm also going to put all the emphasis on prana movement through your body, and I will touch on alignment, I will touch on all those cues which I'm going to share with you in the first part of the presentation, but first part's going to be very technical, a lot about alignment and purpose, but then hopefully we can just include that in a smooth and organic way at the end, and meet that objective of just having the prana flow and get shoot across from left brain to right brain, and enjoy your practice without thinking too much about your alignment. So just one of the observations too is that in the West, we tend to suck in with the gut, and this is our normal way that we carry ourselves, is chest proud, but diaphragm tense, and so breath shallow. It's only up here. And so when you relax your gut, you can have proper breath and less tension. And so there's less attention to the physical aspect in the East, because you'll normally, if you look at the yoga body of the Eastern and the yoga body of the Western, it's nothing the same. And I struggle painfully. Okay, that's maybe too much, but I do struggle with the fact that we have such beautiful yogis in the West. To a degree, I struggle with that because it bothers me, because that's not my average class. And so what I mean by that is when your teachers look so awesome and do handstands and all of this beautiful business, and you watch them on YouTube, but then if you aspire to be like that teacher, you aspire to have such a strong practice, what you don't know is that they were probably a gymnast before, or they were probably a ballet dancer before, or they were probably an acrobat before, a circus, a contortionist. There are all of these things which have nothing to do with yoga, which are the reason why they didn't do all the yoga postures like that the first 6 months, get the teacher training, and then get on videos, and then be huge on YouTube. And then you aspire to be that person through yoga, you're going to get broken. And that's what happened to me with, well, not to me, but with the Ashtanga practice. It's a powerful practice, and people who are in the Yang yoga often get hurt. They often get permanent injuries, which they end up struggling with, and it's like, well, what's the point then?
Yeah. That's all ego-based.
It is
You get hurt
ego-based.
because of the ego.
The ego just went from,
Yeah.
fitness or from gymnast to yoga. And so pitfalls. My objective is to share with you the fundamentals, that you can include them into your teaching style. And I'd like to know your teaching style. So if you can give your name and your teaching style, either the one that you have already, if you're teaching already, and the one that you will have if you're going to be teaching. Thank you. Danielle, would you like to start?
Well, I don't have any teaching style. I just have my own practice,
Okay.
and that's it. I was attracted to Dr. Bali's method just because it is therapeutic,
Yeah.
and my goal is to contribute, like if I can teach that to people that are sick or something. That's my goal.
Therapeutic approach. Then.
Yep.
Super.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I haven't taught here once yet, so I definitely don't have a style yet. But when I do teach, it definitely won't be for money. That's not my intention, because I like the type of work I do. But I'd like to do kind of like what you said, to help people and to volunteer to do it. And the main reason why I'm doing yoga is more for myself, but that would be like the byproduct of it. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much. So therapeutic
Yeah.
would really be your
Okay.
goal.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
My name is Jose. It's the same as the Night Girls. I did what I'm practicing is Dr. Bali's therapeutic yoga, and what I would like to share to other people is that kind of practice, the therapeutic yoga.
Great. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Yara. I started teaching the therapeutic yoga of Dr. Bali because that's what I enjoy the most. However, I did find that in studios, sometimes people needed a bit more alignment or a bit more dynamic classes. So I'm trying to balance them out as much as I can, but definitely the therapeutic approach is something I enjoy more. But I'm also very looking forward to what you're going to have to say today and share with us, because I do believe it's nice to have a balance, to be able to allow students to feel supported in a posture, at least so that they don't have to think so much if, oh, is my leg properly aligned or not, am I doing this right or wrong? So just enough so that they can get into the posture and then just let go of it, of the alignment, and just be present. So that's what I'm trying to achieve.
Super, thanks, Yara.
Yeah, we're on, and I started off doing Ashtanga yoga with Mark Darby here in Montreal. So I got certified with him, and it is a very rigorous yoga. But the way Mark taught it was, there's rules like your foundation first, then your breath, then strength, and then flexibility. And he taught it like every posture you follow that sequence. And the way he taught it is if you do that, you never hurt yourself. You'll never hurt yourself in yoga. And I find that in all yogas, even Dr. Belli's, people will pull their knee to the side too much and overstretch. If you understand the body and how the body works, you'll never hurt yourself. But like you were saying, it's all ego. They come from the gym. It's the same guys go to the gym and they push weights and pull a muscle. They're the guys that, oh, he can get his knee way over there, I have to do mine too.
Yeah.
So that's how I started. I've already done Dr. Belli's instructor training a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I'm here now for a refresher. I dropped in and out.
Okay.
And when I did it before, it was always develop my own self-practice. And I've got a pretty strong self-practice now, both in the postures, pranayama, and meditation. And now I'm leading more. That's another reason I've come back, is to start to teach. And I'm developing a program with, teaching a few friends right now. It's called, I'm calling it Yoga Discovery. And what I found is, for many years I was going to yoga classes once, twice a week, and I come home and I do a couple postures, and you don't remember the postures. And very few classes teach you how to develop your own practice. And practice not just the asanas, but the breathing and then the meditation at the end. So bring you through a couple of the limbs of yoga, more lined up closer to what you do in India as opposed to health club yoga.
Yeah.
So that's sort of my goal. And very much focused on health and restorative. Like, as I age, I've had a lot of health problems, and almost every one of them yoga has, I've had pinched nerves, and doctor told me that limping around for a year with arthritis. I went and did a little acupuncture, a bunch of yoga. It's been gone for over a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had the same in my shoulder. I couldn't even carry 2 cups of coffee like this.
Wow.
Yeah.
My elbow would be screaming in pain. Doctor said it was a crushed vertebrae, not crushed, but
Squeezed.
deterioration of all of this. And I did a lot of yoga. That was about 3 years ago, and I chopped firewood. I do everything. So that's the type of thing I want to teach other people.
Wonderful.
Like how to sense your body.
Yeah.
I could feel it. It wasn't coming from here. It was coming from the pinched nerve in the muscle, which I could
Yeah.
work with in yoga. So the yoga helped me get to the cause and fix it. So
It's one of
I
the
figured
biggest
if I
gifts
could
we
do it
can give,
myself,
really. Yeah.
I can teach other people.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest gifts we can give, and one of the most gratifying things is when you hear that somebody's been following your class, stuff is moving out of their body and
Yeah.
finding, restoring proper functioning of the body. Thanks.
I have a question out of curiosity. Did you change your alimentation? Did you cut out the milk products for your arthritis?
I've done that in the past. I also had a lot of allergies. And I cut out milk. I did all kinds of things. I seen a naturopath. Nothing worked. But over the years, I've been doing yoga about 11, 12 years now. And when I started yoga, like it was, every summer I'd be on antihistamines. Nothing now. I get a few sneezes in the summer.
So the milk product didn't make any difference?
Nothing.
Now you're taking them or not?
No, I live on cheese.
Okay, so and still it went away your
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Okay,
I find
because
a lot
there's
of
a
the
controversy on that.
I believe a lot of the dietary stuff, like glucose intolerance or milk or lactose intolerance, a lot of it's up here. We read too much, and we believe it. And if the mind believes it, it manifests it.
I disagree. I have gluten intolerance before I knew what gluten was.
Yeah.
I ended up at the doctor's with,
No, I'm not
months worth of symptoms and
Yeah.
found out later what it was, like back in the 90s when nobody I realize there's people that are suggestible, but your body reacts to things that you don't
Yes.
even know what.
But see, you-
It's not because it was
No,
suggested
no.
to you.
Yeah, no, I know, but you have a real, it's like somebody with diabetes, you can't tell them it's all in his head.
Right.
You have a real tolerance.
Right.
I've met so many people
They
I work
follow
with.
Yeah, they can
fat
condition
diets.
themselves.
Yeah.
Fat
They read
diets.
something, say, oh, I got upset stomach, I'm
Yeah.
glucose
Yeah.
intolerant, they spend all this money.
Yeah.
You can condition
And-
yourself to be sick as well.
Yeah,
Mm.
and then
some
they
may
feel
have-
better because they're eating more vegetables and cutting out a lot of
Carb.
dairy
Bad foods.
product and carbs. And they say, oh, it's because of the milk.
Mm.
Well, you know, stop eating pizza and you eat tomatoes and cucumbers, you're gonna feel better.
So,
That's my
continue the
theory
circle then.
I'm not
Thanks.
saying it isn't a real thing, don't get me wrong.
Uh-huh.
I find a lot of it. Like I had chronic back pain, which I didn't talk about, for 7 years, x-rays, everything. I was told I used to do a lot of canoeing. This was when I was in my 30s, I just turned 60. And I was told when I was about 35 that stop canoeing. It's too hard on the back, I can't do this anymore. And I happened to read a good book about, you know, back pain and how it's all up here. You basically talk yourself out of it. Within 3 months, my back pain was gone. This summer, I spent 2 weeks in Newfoundland sea kayaking. That's even a lot harder than canoeing. Traveling all around the islands, camping on the beaches. It was beautiful. And, you know, when I was 35, they told me no more of that stuff. So a lot of it is up here, not everything.
Mm.
But with my back, what I did is I went in and had the x-rays. And, you know, all the checkup, they said your back is strong. There's no damage there. So it's, you know, it's physically, like muscular and stuff. So they said it has to be the nerves being pinched and stuff. That's why I couldn't kayak, because it's putting pressure on the nerves like this. But with yoga and everything, you know, if you do this, right? Everything relaxes, opens up.
Good.
Anyway, I can go on.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's carry on.
My name's Martine. I'm not in the teacher's training. I was in the happiness program, so
Yes,
I don't
okay.
won't have a style.
Oh,
I say my mental chatter has calmed down considerably in the last 6 months,
yeah.
but I'm glad that you're going to be doing this flipping over to the right side and prana, because I find that I have trouble with. The level of relaxation I can get by doing a full session here, I can't seem to do at home.
Okay.
So I do like to raise my energy levels and keep them stable instead of, you know, up and
Mhm.
down,
Mhm.
and flip over to that right side because
Mhm.
I'm very left-brained. So
Mhm.
I think it's going to be interesting what you have to say today.
Okay, thanks.
I don't have, my name is Angelica. I don't have a teaching practice yet, but I would love to teach pranayama and meditation. That will be my main focus.
Good.
My preferred means of bringing people into that relaxed state so they can sit for long periods of time will be Dr. Bali's method.
Good.
So it will be as an introduction to and as a preparing step to the pranayama and meditation.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. Get the body to just, prepare
Relaxed and, yeah.
itself for the mind to settle. Yeah, mind to prepare itself through the body as well. Thanks.
I'm Tanvir. I've only taught one class here, and I don't teach, and so I don't know what my style is, but I guess I would say it's minimal, because I don't like. I find when teachers talk a lot, I kind of get out of the flow, and I kind of like it personally when it's quiet. I'm a bit of an introvert.
Mm.
And I'm interested in the emotional therapeutic aspects of yoga. That's why I'm here.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So thanks for coming. I'm glad you could join us. We're just going in the circle, and you're the last person.
So you finished?
We were finishing with you.
So I
to-
missed everybody's background.
Yeah.
I have to look at the video.
It's just that.
Okay, so
It's just mostly to know if you have a teaching practice already,
Yeah.
the style, and if not, that which you want to be offering to your students. So I can understand a little bit
so
offering this too.
I haven't taught in a long time, but except for the 2 classes I taught in the last 2 weeks, and before that I hadn't taught for about 8 years. But I used to teach mostly in the Shivananda style.
Yeah.
But I took classes more recently in the Iyengar method, And I'm very interested in restorative practices in general. I also like the potential in Iyengar for therapeutic. So when people have injuries, being able to help them so they don't feel that they can't practice yoga
Absolutely.
postures. But yeah, I really like restorative yoga. So I feel that, you know, Dr. Bali's practice, for example, or the way some people seem, I don't know too much about yin yoga, but for example, one of the teachers here also practices yin yoga, so those things also appeal to me.
Yeah, excellent. So today, the restorative is something we're going to address. The breath, understanding foundation, alignment. Yeah, we'll finish with maybe just a little bit of question and answer at the end. I'd like to understand a little bit better the schedule. Is it 40 minutes for the class that I'm going to give at the end, or 40 minutes to
People
an
do
hour?
it differently, I think.
People are doing it differently, so what should I do?
You're the boss.
Yeah.
Do as you wish. Usually
Yeah.
Dr. Bali for the first class, he says an hour 15.
Okay.
But see with the flow of the class, I can keep track of time for you if you want.
It'd be nice to do an hour. It'd be nice to keep an hour for that.
Okay.
Because what I want to teach anyway, in terms of the fundamentals and all that,
Yeah.
good deal of that will be experiential
Mhm.
in that last hour. So let's
Okay,
look
cool.
at it like that. And there should be a break time for tea or pee-pee. So it's about a
it-
10-minute,
Yeah.
10 minutes before the class
Okay.
that I teach, and we finish at 9.
Oh, you have the time.
Is it?
Okay,
Yeah, we
perfect.
finish at 9. So let's work that backwards. 9, so 7:30. So yeah, okay. So we just basically will do an hour of fundamentals. Thank you. So one of the things I like to do when we start is to take a few minutes to bring our attention inward. And I invite you to do this lying down, so you can just move the seat. We're going to lie down in the Savasana. Typically this is done in the Sivananda method as well. And in the Shavasana, I would like to invite you to bring your legs apart with the toes out and the palms facing up. Allowing the
I know, I was just moving these
hips
things up.
to open
I'm not going there, I'm moving my
and to
things
breathe. Keep the legs a little bit wider than the hip width. And let the femur turn outward, so your thighs turn out, so that your hips can breathe and open. Palms facing up. So the palms are facing up so that from the sternum towards the outside of the shoulders, there's an opening that's happening there. Letting the rib cage expand. Allowing the lungs to expand. I'd like to invite you to take in a deep breath in to your full capacity and expand the rib cage further, and exhale slowly through the mouth. Release all tension. Gathering all tension from the day, all tension in the mind, all tension in the face. Deep inhale. And as you exhale, release. Let go everything that you don't need right now. Thought form or tension in the body. Keep your hands up. Allowing the eyes to relax behind the eyelids. which is a sign of your nervous system calming down. Relaxing the face, relaxing your lips, your jaw, tongue, relaxing the throat, shoulders, your arms, your hands, your torso, allowing the hips to open further, and feeling the muscles of your thighs letting go from the bones. Relaxing knees, calf muscles, ankles. Arches of your feet, the soles of your feet and the toes. The body is completely relaxed. Draw a deep breath in and collect any residual tension. Exhale and let it go. Notice a wave of relaxation from head to toe as you repeat this. Drawing a deep breath in. Exhale and letting go. I'd like you to bring your attention to the top of the inhalation. And notice a moment of lightness, a floating moment. And notice a smooth transition between the inhale and the exhalation. At the bottom of the exhalation is what appears to be a pause, but it isn't static. And then a smooth transition from the bottom of the exhale to the inhale. The top of the inhalation, I'd like you to lengthen it a little bit. Just freeing up the breath without changing so much your breath, just freeing it up. Allowing that floating sensation to last a little longer. And while you observe the exhalation, allow the navel to drop towards the spine a little bit longer. Allow the navel to fall towards the spine a little longer. Keeping smooth transitions between the exhale and the inhale. Lengthening the inhale by observing the top of the inhale. Lengthening the exhale by observing the bottom of the exhale. Calming down the nervous system further, slowing down the heart rate by slowing down the breath. So the abdominal breathing has the lungs pressing against the diaphragm and the relaxed diaphragm pressing against the abdomen. The abdomen rises. And then the exhalation, the navel drops towards the spine. Deep breath in and exhale through the mouth. And we'll come towards a seated position. Let's bring our hands to the thighs. So one of the things which I want to communicate to you through the experience is how you can share this with others. You may already know, abdominal breath. But the part that matters in the abdominal breath is the part that's hard to grasp by people who are new to yoga and hard to overcome. It's the top of the inhalation and the bottom of the exhalation. That's where there's a sudden drop. So there's une fuite d'énergie. I like to think of it as a loss of energy. So when you're drawing a deep breath in, if you exhale fast, a lot of people will come to your class, and there's nothing happening here. Inhaling, this happens. Exhaling, the chest falls. It's actually difficult for me to do. It might be difficult for you to do as well now, because it's been a long time. So if the breath is only up here, it's shallow. And what happens is in between the inhale and exhale, there's an energy loss. Whereas the prana circulates when you are able to have a long inhalation and a smooth transition at the top, and with the long exhalation, a smooth transition at the bottom. So by contracting the throat, pelvic floor, and so activating the 3 bandhas, navel to the spine, with the Ujjayi breath, we're able to ensure the transition is smooth from the bottom of the exhale to the inhale, from the top of the inhale to the bottom to the exhale. Only with the sound kind of flattens out of the bottom, right? So with the throat slightly contracted, if you think of it as your throat from a top view, bird's eye view, you're squeezing in. That's keeping the energy flowing.
Squeezing in both on inhale and exhale? Or just
There's actually squeezing in on the inhale, it's just not so noticeable. But to bring people to that awareness, I ask them to think of